right. So this topic is called Visual Learners and Digital Literacy, supporting all students learning through video. So you may have noticed that the students we teach, and possibly your own children, I know with my own children, they often are learning, and whether it's for learning or enjoyment, using videos, whether it's YouTube or some other format, they're just getting a lot of their information and a lot of their um, just enjoyment from watching videos. So we as educators trying to find some digital tools that support students in the best way that they are currently learning is a great way to get them to buy into our content that we're sharing with them. So we're going to go over a few different resources. We'll dive deeply into some of them. Some of them I will just highlight, but all of them are great. And depending on what you teach and who your learners are in your classroom, you might find that some of them fit your students better than others. But hopefully by the end, there are a few that you find valuable. So everything in this presentation is linked in an app called Wakelet. So this second slide, all you have to do is click on the images and the Wakelet will open. And a Wakelet is actually one great place to put videos. It is a curation site. So you as a teacher could open up a new blank Wakelet and just add links to different things, which could be videos. So that is one way to include videos in your content. The nice thing about a Wakelet is you don't have to just add videos. You could add video links for your learning, and you could also add content or reading links. So for example, I've used Wakelet for student research projects at any grade from 1st to 5th. With my first grader, actually I used it for kindergartners a couple years ago. They were doing mammals and had learned about pandas. So I created this Wakelet for them, and each time I found either an article or a video about a panda or other animals, I would just copy and paste it into here. And then it would show up as one of the options on this Wakelet. And then when I shared this whole Wakelet with students, they would be able to watch the videos as well as look at any other links that I attached that included reading, or maybe a passage that they could press play and listen to the reading if they were non-readers. So this is one example of a way to include video in with your content. Tracy said her Wakelet cannot be found. Did anyone else have trouble opening up the Wakelet? I can put the link in the chat again, and hopefully, oh, no, I know why. I was playing with it to clean it up a little bit and I toggled off the view. I'm so sorry. Can you try again and see if it works? And I will also put it in the chat. Thank you for letting me know. I'm so sorry about that. All right, I put it in the chat, but also hopefully the link works too. Can you just let me know if it worked for you now? Thank you. Okay. So in addition to Wakelet, I listed quite a few other apps, everything from some quiz kind of assessment type options to ClassDojo. If you're familiar with ClassDojo, it has lots and lots of content in it. It seems to just keep growing. But one of the areas is a portfolio area where students can create video submissions. So rather than writing maybe what they learned, they can record themselves talking about it. Canva is linked in here in a couple different ways. There is a tutorial about how to create videos in Canva, but we'll do that together in a few moments. Edpuzzle is another area that is video learning. And if you've ever used Edpuzzle, it is similar to YouTube in that there's a video, but then Edpuzzle gives you the opportunity to stop the video at different learning points and insert questions. Edpuzzle also has a vast library of already created content. And honestly, I don't know if I've ever created an Edpuzzle from scratch. Maybe once or twice in all my years of teaching. What I usually do is find one in the library, and then I'll tweak the questions if they're too challenging for students. If the video is great, but the questions are too easy, I will alter the questions and things like that. So it's amazing, an amazing tool. BrainPop, we all probably are familiar maybe with Tim and Moby. Tim and Moby are the main characters in BrainPop. BrainPop is video based, so great for our visual learners. It also is growing. They actually have some new releases coming out in the month of August, some of which are not at all video based, but it helps. It's just expanding what BrainPop offers. They have a leveled reader section coming out where gives you the opportunity to assign videos to students to learn, which is a feature I'll show you in a minute. But in addition to assigning a video and maybe a quiz, you also can assign some leveled readers. So that way they are using their video, but also supporting the video information with some leveled reading text for them to read. Britannica School, we do have a district subscription to Britannica School, so we'll jump into that and look at the videos. And then there are some Google products that have great opportunities for students to record rather than just write. Google Slides is one of those. And then Canva is also a great tool. We'll dive into that a little bit. And then Book Creator and Wakelet. So Book Creator, if you have used it, it is literally a library of digital books that students can create. And similar to some of these other tools I'm going to share today, it also has an amazing library of templates that you can copy, which they call remixing in Book Creator, but you can remix those books and put them in your own library. And then that way, when you share your library, those books with your students, they can work on them. And one of the options for working on them is video insert. So not just typing or recording content or writing content. They also have the opportunity to insert videos. Okay, we're going to go back up to the top and dive into some of these a little more. We're going to start with quizzes. Quizzes, currently I have the basic version, but our district either has purchased or it will be purchased. But this school year, we will have the premium version of quizzes. So in areas on quizzes, you will see that it has like a little icon that says premium or has a little image. And right now I don't have the opportunity to open those, but once the district enables it for us to use, then we have access to so many options. Quizzes, as I said, is similar to Kahoot and Quizlet. It's a assessment tool where you can ask questions, but it's game-based. So that is a great way to get buy-in with students. And it also has the options for video insert. So I'm going to go ahead and show you creating one. But again, they also have a really great library in the Explore tool. So I'm already signed on to Quizzes, but you would just sign on with your Google account. And I'm going to create an assessment just as an option for today. I'm going to start from scratch, but you could definitely import things if you already have some content that you have created. You can use that. It has a great AI tool that you can type what you're looking for and it will search for that using AI. So as you can see right here, it does show interactive video as one of the new options. So we'll give that a chance to load. And it goes over some of the information. And then you choose your video from your Drive or from YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and choose one of their suggestions, but of course you could type in whatever content area you're working on. We'll do solar system. And I'll just pick this first one just to start with. So it's going to insert this video into my quizzes. It does take a little while to load. Okay, let's give it a try. I missed the button on that back screen. It said insert auto-generated questions, but that's okay. I'll show you how to add your own questions. We're in Google Meet, which is video-based. I'm recording this. and now I'm trying to get a video to play on my screen. So that is why the lag time is pretty long. When I've done this outside of Google Meet, it does not take nearly as long to spin. The video just kind of shows up. So keep that in mind, even though it seems to be taking a long time now. I can add a question, and I can choose what kind I want to add. I want to do multiple choice. And then similar, if you've ever created a Google form or created a Kahoot or anything like that, you simply type the questions, you type your answers there. And if it's one answer or multiple answers, and you just work through all those options. And then you can add other questions if you like. You also have options for changing the size and the font and those types of things. I'm going to go ahead and click save here, so I can show you some other options in it. So I didn't add anything, so I don't think it's going to let me save. So I'm going to press cancel. So that is an interactive video in Kahoot and quizzes. I'm sorry. And I'll show you some pre-made ones. Also, before we do that, notice open-ended responses. Students have an option to add a video response. So not only can we teach with videos and students can learn with videos, they can respond in video form, which I think is a great tool, especially if we have students who are non-writers or just more comfortable speaking and can get more of their thoughts out verbally than on paper. So you also can go to the Explore button, and this is where you would see the library of topics. And I could, again, search for solar system if I want to. And it will show me all of the options. I do have filters over here on the right, on the left, excuse me, to sort, but I also can just choose interactive videos if I want my content to be an interactive video. And there's one here for 5th grade, so I'll go ahead and look at that one. And if it's perfect, I can click share and share it with my students. I typically will look at the questions and also edit any of those if I need to, but the video is loading here, and then underneath it are the questions that were created. But again, you do have the opportunity to edit those in case they are ones you do not want to use, or they're ones that maybe you want to add to it. So if you wanted to change it, you could copy and edit it. Otherwise, you can go ahead and share it. And you can share with a teacher, you can share with a team, but you can also assign it. If you click assign, and you can post it directly to your Google Classroom. The other great thing about this one is it has accommodations. So right now you'll see it has a student there. It's just because I've linked only one Google Classroom, and it's a classroom that I've used with a co-teacher to practice some reading strategies. But you do have the option to offer accommodations to students. You could offer them to all of your students, or you could just skip it and not do any accommodations. But it allows you to reduce answers, give students a second try. It does allow you to read out loud. You would simply just toggle on these options and save them. So that is a great tool. Let's see, continue without saving. What you will get as you complete it is you'll get the option to post it to your Google Classroom, or you can just grab a link from it and share the link. So as you can see, you can copy the link, you can share it to Google Classroom, you can share a QR code, but that is from the Explore area. And there's many, many options. So that's quizzes. As I'm doing this, if you have any questions while I'm going, please don't hesitate to ask. ClassDojo. So if you use ClassDojo, oftentimes teachers are using it for like a behavior management system, or in conjunction with a communication tool with families. This video link takes you through the portfolio section of ClassDojo. So the portfolio section is an area where students can drop assignments if they want to have it in their portfolio, which then allows teachers to see it and becomes like a sharing mechanism for families as well. So within there, one of the options is to insert video. So it's a great option. The video is here if you're interested in learning specifically how to do that. You do have to have a ClassDojo account and create the portfolio in your ClassDojo account and add students. I'm not a classroom teacher, so while this app is amazing for classroom teachers, it doesn't offer lots of opportunities to just model some of these tasks like this portfolio option when you're not don't have a class built in with you. But this video does a great job with screenshots and showing you how to do it. And again, that is an opportunity kind of after students have learned something, a way for them to respond to their learning and show what they learned through video instead of through writing or words. So Canva, there is a video here, but I'm going to go ahead and go into Canva and show you some options for that. Also, my screen stopped sharing. Sorry about that. Hopefully that didn't happen too long ago. Let's go back into here. Okay. If you have not ever used Canva, Canva is like a creation tool, but it has so many options. It's kind of like PowerPoint and Google Slides and Google Docs and Adobe all built into one amazing place. We do have the district subscription, so we have access to all of the features, as do our students. The video part comes in a couple different ways. You can, or students can, just create a video. So it is a way for them to use their Chromebook if they're in K through 8, if they're older, use their laptop and the camera and the microphone feature to create a video. Maybe they're creating a video to go along with an essay they wrote, and they're going to read the essay, but they're reading it to the video. Maybe it is some research they did, and they're using the video format to share the information they learned. Maybe it's an introduction video that you use at the beginning of the school year, and they tell about themselves, and then you share those videos with each other in Google Classroom. But the video option here is one way to use video within Google or within Canva. And once they click on it here, it does give them some options, but you also can choose create a design, and educational video is up here at the top. So we'll do that one first, and then I'll show you how you can add a video to like a presentation or a document. So this is basic video editing software. I am not a video pro. I've used this before. I find it useful. There's not a lot in it, which to me, I appreciate. You can't do lots of, wild, crazy editing things. I will tell you, I've used this with kids and they kind of caught on to it much faster than me. I don't know, maybe they're all secret YouTube stars and know how to do this already. But they did great with it. So I definitely recommend it if you want to give that a try with them. But there's also a way to embed videos into presentations, which to me, I think is a valuable way to kind of blend digital learning as well as non-digital learning. So if they're writing an essay and they've done that in writing class, or they've done some math work and you want them to be able to explain the math work that they did, and they completed the math work not digitally, but you want to give them a digital option for explaining the work. So I'm just going to go into a basic document. I'm actually just going to choose a presentation because it will give me like what looks like a slide. And so here, if you have students open a basic presentation, they could use this for whatever content you want. Perhaps it's math and you're having them explain something. So they could insert a text box and write about it with words, but then they also could go down here to uploads And this button here where you see record yourself is the one that I think is a great feature for students to explain their work. Now, again, similar to the loading and quizzes, my computer is using video in the Google Meet and now trying to use it in here. So it might lag a little bit, but hopefully you can see the different features that are available. They choose their microphone. It's already set to what it is kind of identifying within the computer, but then they just start recording themselves by clicking record. It counts them down, and then they could start talking. Like perhaps they're explaining how they did the math problem and how they solved it. And then they click done. And they can do it over and over again if they want to, and click save and exit. Then they could start talking. Like perhaps they're explaining how they did the math problem. And I'm not sure if you could hear that, but it pops their explanation or their short little video in the bottom corner of their presentation slide. So that is a great tool. Google Slides now has added this feature, and then I'll show you that in a few minutes. But I like Canva for this. I think it does a great job. It also is great. We had a student last year who did a wax museum. If you're familiar with those, it's like a way to present research projects about historically significant people. So students read biographies, they created projects. Well, he was someone who just was not comfortable speaking in front of people as they walked by to see all of the amazing things he had created. But what he was comfortable doing, and he did it with assistance with his teacher and his resource teacher, is he created his presentation because that was something he was very capable of doing. And he did it in Canva. But then instead of practicing with note cards and speaking out loud when it was his turn to present, he pre-recorded his presentation in Canva. And then that way, when people came to see his presentation, when they presented to families, and then also when he presented to the class, he could just press play. And it kind of allowed him to do exactly what everyone else was doing, but in a way that he was successful at. So I like that it gives that opportunity. So those are the two different ways. Those are our two different ways to use recording videos in Canva. And if you want more information and details about how to do that, there's definitely some more information there. Edpuzzle. I alluded to Edpuzzle slightly. It is a video program for teachers to create lessons that are video-based, and students can either just watch the video, or you can insert questions throughout the video for comprehension. It is nice because the videos are within Edpuzzle. So like if you've ever shared YouTube videos through YouTube, then students can sometimes kind of keep clicking and get out of it and choose things within YouTube that they want to listen to. And this keeps it all within the Edpuzzle app. So again, it has a great resource. You sign in with Google, you can go into your own content. You also can discover content and look for something that's interesting to you. There's a first day of school one here that looks interesting. There's pronouns. I'm going to go ahead and click up here to search again, and I'll just stick with my solar system topic. I can change grade levels if I want to. I'll choose second grade. At the bottom here, I believe there is, hang on. Second grade. There we go. Yep. Okay, so now it's looking for second grade ones. Planets in the solar system for kids. It's showing me how long the video is. That one's kind of long for me, but you could choose that one if you wanted to. This one has songs in it, tells you how long it is and how many questions are in it. Let's go ahead and go with this fifth grade one over here with the 6 questions, and we'll open it. And similar to quizzes, you do have the opportunity to edit it. So you can take questions out, you can add questions, you can edit questions, like maybe they're giving 4 choices and you only want 3 choices. And then, of course, if you do like it, you can go ahead and go with exactly what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit so you can kind of see exactly what it would look like. But there's the video, and then it does show the kind of stop points where it asks the questions. You also can make this video shorter. So if you want to limit it for what it is, for its length, you can do that. And then these are the questions over here on the left that are asked during the video. And then once you've made changes, you can click finish. And then you do have the opportunity to assign it. And similar to lots of other apps, you can assign it to your Google Classroom. So it can go right there, become an assignment. That way you can track completion within Google Classroom, but also within Edpuzzle, you can see the data. So I have used Edpuzzle. I'm getting back to just the home screen to show you content. So I have some content in here. I've mostly used this like for this type of thing, presentations, but this is a polar bear one. And I used it with younger students, and it just had the video to watch. So I did not include questions. When you are in Edpuzzle, you can go into your classes and see the assignments as well as see a grade book. So you can look at their completion as well as see their progress on things. I don't have any that are currently assigned, so I don't have any data there, but it is a great place to go if you are using it to assess learners. So that is Edpuzzle. BrainPop. BrainPop is a video-based application. We have access to all of the features in BrainPop. This first link is to a tutorial, and then this second link is to BrainPop. So I'm going to go over BrainPop by logging into BrainPop, but if you decide it's something you want to use and you want to learn more additional information, looking at that tutorial will help also. I did like a summer summit session for an hour just on BrainPop. So that is the link to it. Logging into BrainPop, kids would choose I'm a kid. Everyone chooses sign in with Clever. So students or teachers, be sure to choose sign in with Clever. You can, of course, just have kids go to Clever to sign in, or you can post the link to BrainPop in your Google Classroom. Students will still be prompted to choose sign in with Clever. And once they sign in with Clever, I have a few extra steps for this, sorry. Once they sign in with Clever, it does show you all of the applications we have access to. Students will only see whatever is grade appropriate in their BrainPop for them. So if it's a kindergartner, when they go into Clever, they'll see BrainPop Junior. If they are in upper elementary and middle school, they will see BrainPop. It is my understanding that the district has a K-8 subscription to BrainPop. At least that was the understanding as of the summer and last year. So if you do not have access to it at all and you are at the middle school, reach out to your media specialist or just email me and I can try to get to the bottom of that, but you should have access to it. We also have it in other languages. I believe just Spanish and French is my understanding. But the good thing is no matter what you choose as a student or a teacher, even though there's only one visible in Clever, once you actually get into BrainPop as a student or a teacher, over here on the left where you see Moby, there's a drop-down menu and we can switch. Students can switch, we can switch. The educators is like some lesson planning options and just content and tutorials, but it's nice that you have the option to switch around. So BrainPop in a nutshell is videos. You can assign videos, you can copy links to videos, post them in your Google Classroom. It just is a great way for students to learn using video-based instruction. You do have the option to assign videos with questions. So I'll stick with my solar system. Yesterday it was frogs and I didn't have as much success. But here we go. We have solar systems. So I find a video that I think would work for what my content is that I need to teach students. And it's just reminding me that we now have leveled activities, which I talked a little bit about that at the beginning about leveled readers. And that is something new, which is really cool. All right. So I have a video. If I want to assign this to kids, I can, or I could just copy and paste this URL and put it in Google Classroom. Oh, I hovered over the standards. That's why that popped up. So if I click assign, the nice thing with assigning is I can assign the video, but I also could assign the video with pause points, which is very similar to Edpuzzle. It offers opportunity for students to click the play button so they can hear the questions. It also gives them pause moments in the video to really reflect back on a chunk of video that they read. And then there are other options within here that you can assign and you can choose. All of them, the nice thing is they have a preview button. So it's definitely more than videos, but all of the content and information they learn is from the video. This is the new area that I talked about briefly, the leveled readers. I've not had a chance to play with this other than watch a demo, but it looks amazing. And I love that you can choose different levels. You would have to create multiple assignments if you want to differentiate the levels. So like you'd have to create an assignment and choose level 1. And then when you go to share it with your Google Classroom, you select the students you want to assign it to. And then you'd come back to BrainPop, create another assignment, choose level 3 if you have readers at a higher reading level. So that part takes a little bit of time, but it is an opportunity for you to differentiate your instruction. And then you would just continue working through these steps within BrainPop to assign. I have a number of Google Classrooms. As you can see here, I can select my specific students, and that's how I could differentiate instruction. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Finish later. Saving your drafts is a great way to kind of start the process but not finish it. The one thing that is currently missing from BrainPop is the ability to share what you've created with other teachers to kind of lessen the load. So if you're all teaching solar systems, unfortunately in BrainPop currently, you have to create your own assignments and share them with your students. Someone else needs to create their own assignments and share them with their students. So that is one downfall of BrainPop. But the video-based option is there. If you don't want to assign things, students can explore BrainPop and just click and choose videos they want to watch as well. So Britannica School has a video section. We do have a district subscription to Britannica School. Students access it through Clever, or teachers could link it in your Google Classroom. Everyone does need to sign on to it. And currently the sign-on options are your school username and password. So school username initials. So I did put that information here in our Wakelet for you, just to help you remember. So for example, my school information is Wallen Oaks Elementary School. So it's WOES. If you work at Heritage Grove Middle School, it would be HGMS. So that's how the initials are followed for it. But you just simply go into it either as a teacher or a student and choose an area. But we're focusing on videos here, so I'm going to show you the video section. This is a great resource far beyond videos that you can use with your students. But the part I want to focus on with this section is pictures and videos. So there's a section within Britannica School called Image Quest, and that is kind of the area where all of these lived. Years ago, there was a link on desktops for students to Image Quest. I have not seen that there recently, but if you had ever noticed it, that's what it is. And they can choose any topic out of these options. We'll go into science. And then we are in the media section right here. So it's going to give us videos on things. I can choose, I'll choose machines, etc. Let's see what I can find. And then maybe I'll go into transportation. There are videos and pictures. So both give visual representation. So if it has a time in the corner, it's a video. If it does not have a time, then it is simply a photo. So that's one way to see the videos. You also could go up here or your students and click on ImageQuest. It will open a new tab, but it all falls under the Britannica School umbrella. And you can find the videos in both sections, but this gives you the search option. And again, solar system. 9,729 images. I can change it if I only want clip art, which I don't. I can choose some different options here. I can select things if I want to share them. Hang on, I wasn't sharing my screen. Britannica ImageQuest, sorry. I toggled over to Britannica ImageQuest. So as you can see here, it opened up a new tab, but it still is all under the Britannica School umbrella. There is an images and a videos tab. So if I go over to videos, I can select any of these videos that I would like to share with my students, and I can download them or I can add them to my media. If I add one to my media, it would be found in this area. I also could share the search in Google Classroom, and then students would see these videos. Now, I think 240 videos is maybe a lot for students to have a link to, but if not, if that's all you want them, if you want to give them that many options, you can. In my media, I now have one video here for students, and I could download it if I wanted to. It is saying to sign in or create a free account. So teachers, you can sign in once more with your Google account. And I did not sign into Britannica School, so we'll see if this works, but let me give it a try. There we go. My name is over there now. So I could select this one, and it allows me to add it to an album if I want. And I can put it in a few different places. If I want to add it to my Google Drive, so it's easy to add into Google Classroom, I can do that. Download it, as I said. You can email it to someone if you wanted to. But those are some ways to access videos in Britannica School. All right. Moving on. Google Slides. So Google Slides has a new feature somewhat recently. And these are the directions for how to use the Google Slides recording. But I also have a blank Google slide that I can show you. I think I have it in here. No. I'm just going to open a Google slide, a new one. And on the right, there's a button right here that says record. So if I click in some of my content, it now is not whited out, and I can record. So very similar to, oh, why did it do that? It could be because I'm recording this video, kind of how we talked about before. We'll try one more time. If not, if it doesn't work, I'll just explain it to you, and then you're welcome to try it outside of our Google Meet. But it is, in a similar way, it allows students to, I'm not going to give access to my camera because it'll switch it with the Google Meet possibly. So I don't want to worry about that. But students, of course, you would remind them to click allow. But it inserts just a little circle in the bottom corner. Also know that maybe if a student doesn't want to record their face, but they want to record their audio, this is one option for that as well. So it's recording my audio. Maybe I typed information about a frog or the solar system, or I wrote an essay about something, I could read my essay out loud. And then once I'm done talking, I can press stop. It's going a little wonky. I'm going to press the X and see if that helps. Maybe not. Maybe too many recordings going on my computer. Technical difficulties. Thanks for being patient. Okay, I'm going to close this tab and open it back up. But what it does is once you press stop, it inserts that little circle in the bottom corner of your Google slide, very much like Canva that we just tried. Let me reshare my screen. We're getting close to the end. Thanks everyone for hanging in there. Okay, we did go into Canva and looked at those options for video creation. The last one I want to talk about is Book Creator. There is a tutorial here for Book Creator, and then there's also a link to Open Book Creator. We do have a district subscription to Book Creator, so we have all of the premium features available to us. I have found that the best way to use Book Creator with students, and honestly, I feel like this works best with lots of apps, is to show them very little and then let them explore, because I'm always in awe of all of the things they figure out what to do. So that is just an option, something you might think about doing, because then you don't feel like you as a teacher have to know how to do every single little thing within an app before you give your students the opportunity to explore it and kind of learn it together. Because there's so many apps out there. It's hard. Like, you don't have the time to become an expert on them before you teach your students. Otherwise, you would never have the opportunity to use all of them. So that's just something I recommend. I'm going to go to the home screen on my in Book Creator. Okay, this is the home screen in Book Creator. It all runs on libraries. So I have libraries that are just for me, which is why one of those is called My Books. I have libraries where I make templates and share them with teachers, which is why this one's called Teacher Templates. And then I have classrooms. So like, you would create a library for your classroom and you would put books in it. You, of course, could create your own book, but I honestly recommend using a template. There are so many templates within this Discover area of Book Creator, and they're adding to them all the time. They cover all of the topics. You can find math, you can find SEL, digital citizenship. There's holidays in here. There's back to school, like All About Me type books that build some community within your classroom. And then in the Getting Started section, this is kind of cool. The like Book Creator in Me, it is a fun book for kids to tell about themselves, but also the Book Creators designers have built in almost every feature to allow kids to learn all the features in Book Creator. So I mentioned this earlier, I think, within Book Creator, to copy a book into your library, they call it remixing. So you would remix this book and put it in your classroom library. So I might put it in, I'll put it in Media Center, just because I know that doesn't have a lot of books in it. And I'll copy it to that library. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my library. And my book is here. It's this first one. While it's loading, I'll show you this other one because it does have some good stuff in it with the video. So this is the library. You would share this library with students. And there's an invite code here. You can use the URL and post it in Google Classroom, or you can leave this code up on the screen. And when students open Book Creator, they can type in the code. It really depends what grade you teach, but both of those work well. So within the books, a student would get their own copy of the book. So when they open it, it's opening their own copy, almost like how when you post an assignment in Google Classroom, there is your option like to give a copy to each student. This automatically does that. So I used this to do some book reviews during library, or not book reviews, excuse me, book summaries during library, because I read books out loud. So we would read a book aloud, and then whether it was fiction or nonfiction, it would depend on how we responded to the book. If it was fiction, we would tell what we liked about it and talk about that. And then we would record what we liked with the record feature. If it was a nonfiction option, we would tell things we learned about it, and I would record the button with that. I think I have a picture toward the end. Let me get to the end. I may or may not. If not, I'll show you how to do one. I do not. Okay, I'm going to go to a blank page. So when students are using these pages, these are all of their tools over here: the plus, the I, and the arrow, and that's it. And they have information under each of them, one of which is media. So there's a camera option, which is still photos, and then the record option, which is audio. So I'll try this allow button. If you stop hearing me because I shared my microphone, let me know. So I can choose start recording. It counts down. And at this point, this is where I have the students write, or excuse me, talk about what the book was, like what they learned or what they didn't learn. And you can stop recording, listen to it. If you like it, you can insert it. They love hearing their own voices. And then you can press play. It's still processing. While it's processing, I'm going to show you the camera option. And we'll try to share my camera. Well, I'm doing that in the chat. Laura, yes, there's a list of subscription that the district pays for. I'm not sure what building you work at, but your media specialist has that. I will make a note to myself to email it to you also. It's kind of a growing list. It is not created by the district, but it follows SOPA, which I don't remember what the initials stand for, but it is SOPA list is like websites that are approved for student use where like the data collection is appropriate and not inappropriate. So within the camera, this is where they have that record feature. So maybe they're giving you a book summary, maybe they're explaining a math problem, maybe they are telling you some facts about something they learned, maybe you're using it as an exit slip for the day or the beginning of the day, but they could record their video. Oh, that's pretty. And they could watch it and insert it. And I'll take a moment to insert. Hopefully it will load. There we go. I'll press play. Hopefully you can hear it. Summary, maybe they're explaining a math problem. Maybe they are telling you some facts about something they learned. Maybe you're using it as an exit slip for the day or the beginning of the day. So that gives you a little bit of how the video works. I think I covered up my audio button that I tried at the beginning, but that's okay. You can view students' books by going into this library yourself on your book creator. So that gives you a little view of Book Creator. And that brings us to the end because we talked about Wakelet already. I put in here just an additional Wakelet you might like. It is a digital calming space for students or grown-ups. And all of the links in it are videos or visual, and they're supposed to be calming. So they're video activities that are calming, or video clips of sounds, or stories, or mindfulness activities that are calming, but all in video format. So that is the very last one in the Wakelet. So that covers everything that we went over. I know I kind of gave an overview of everything and not super in depth, but I wanted to share everything with you. We have a few more minutes. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to leave if you need to. If you can hang out for just a minute, if you want that SOPA list, I will get it while we're just hanging out here. But before I do that, please take a moment to fill out the exit survey also. You're welcome, Catherine. Laura, I almost got it. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Sorry. Okay. Laura, sorry that took so long. I did put a link in our chat to the SOPA list. It lists our districts, um, applications that they're not necessarily all the ones we have a subscription to, but they are the ones that the district currently uses. What depending on the teacher, depending on the grade, but you can see all of that in the various charts or various columns of it. I hope that helps. But also reach out to your media specialist at your building or your instructional technology coach. They might have that information as well. They will have that information as well.